The 19th of May, Rabbi Levitt substituting with Rabbi Globus, Gemora.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm calling somebody who was having trouble connecting. Just
Ah,
give me a second. Okay, Roy, you can connect now. Yes, Roy, you can connect now. Can you hear me? Roy, can you hear me? You can connect now, Roy. Okay, he's not hearing me. Let me get my other phone. Sorry about that. I got a landline because my cell phone doesn't always work. Roy, can you hear me? Okay, my computer's working and class is starting. You can connect now. There's no pass key. If you have problems, call me back and I'll send you the link again. Okay? All right. Sorry about that, Rabbi.
no problem. You have problems with your computer or
Yeah,
just
it just completely seized up. Nothing would work. I rebooted it and it still wasn't working. And finally, I got it working.
it's old, tired?
It's old and tired. Yeah. It's like
I
me.
thought maybe I thought maybe you were playing around with Linux or something. I guess that's not the problem. Okay. Very often when my computer is down, it might be because I'm playing around with something. I'm trying out something new and it's not working.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not doing anything new. Just the old, same old stuff.
Same old. Okay. So here we have our other participant, Rabbi Karp is
Yeah,
joining us.
this is Roy Karp. This is Rabbi Globus
Good
substituting
morning.
for
Good
Rabbi
morning,
Levitt.
Rabbi. Good morning.
How are
Yeah.
you? I'm Rabbi Levitt's Chavrus and Neve Yaakov, and so he's not in the country right now, so I'm sort of taking over for the meantime.
Okay. Uh, right. So where are we?
We are,
We're on Amud Bays, trying to figure out what the Gemara is saying. And I sent to Lou something. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it. You got a chance to take a look at what I emailed you, Lou?
I did not see an email from you. No. Let me see if I see it now.
So what blood is what it's 18A,
17
17
B.
B. Uh-huh.
I think we're on B1.
Right. Got it. Somewhere.
And I'm bringing up my email. I didn't want to bring up anything that wasn't necessary because I've been having so many problems. I do not see an email from you.
Okay, that's okay, no problem.
Oh, yeah, I do see it. I do see it. Here it is. A sensible explanation.
Yeah, I thought it was. Both of you have Art Scroll Gemoras, I understand.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so we were we were trying to untangle what exactly the Gemora is saying, Zayin Amud Beis, and I found another English explanation that I thought was pretty clear. So I sent it to Lou. It's from an Art Scroll competitor.
Oi,
It's not Art Scroll.
sacrilege.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Steinsaltz. So he's good.
So what is the what are the
I should forward this to you, Roy.
yeah
Yeah, forward it to it. Just don't tell anybody that I sent this to you,
all right, it's
but I don't know, I liked it anyways.
okay,
Okay, I just sent it to you. You should get it in a minute or so.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's get into the sugya in any case while Roy is opening his email. You don't have to open it, but if you're interested, go right ahead. So it actually starts at Yud Zayin Amud Aleph at the very bottom, and we're just going to try to quickly review from there. Amar Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Towein Achar Maaseh Beis Din Lo Amar Klum. So we have a statement. Rabbi Chia says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, who is actually sitting right there, as we're going to see. He says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that if somebody makes a claim against a court enactment, his claim is worthless. Example, a person says, I paid her kasuba money. He divorced his wife, and he says, I paid her ksuba money. So it's a court enactment that she gets her ksuba money, even if she doesn't have a physical ksuba document in her hand. So what he said is nothing, and he must pay her, must pay his obligation. My time on, why is it that this is so? Kol ma'aseh beis kamandanake shtar biyadei dami. Any court enactment, it's as if the person on whose behalf it was made is actually holding a shtar, a legal document in his hand. In this case, it would be a ksuba, and a ksuba is a type of a promissory note in the sense that it marks a financial obligation that the husband has to his former wife. So then we're now on the second line, around the second line of Amud Beis. Amar le Rabbi Chia bar Abba le Rabbi Yochanan velo Mishnah Seinu Hizu. What you just told me, isn't that what it says in the Mishnah? Turns around to Rabbi Yochanan. He says, isn't that what it says in the Mishnah? I don't understand what additional understanding you're imparting to us. That's what it says in the Mishnah. And then he says the Mishnah that ostensibly says the same thing. If the lady pulls out her get, her divorce document, and it's not accompanied by a ksuba document, she collects her ksuba money nonetheless. So now, at this point, Rabbi Abba starts digging into the Mishnah and trying to figure out what case it's talking about. Actually, right before that, Rabbi Yochanan replies to them, Amar le ilav d'layla chas belo mashka chas marganisa tuta. If I hadn't pulled away a clay shard, you wouldn't have found the jewel underneath it. In other words, what he's saying is you think it's what I said is what it says in the Mishnah. Well, you are actually right, but you wouldn't have realized that that's what the Mishnah means until I told you. So now we're at the hard part. Amar Abaye, Maimar Ganisa. Abaye says, what's the jewel? He says, what's this big jewel? What is it? Let's try to define the case. Maybe let's say the Mishnah is talking about a case where they don't write ksuba documents. If that's true, the get hainu ksuba, then her divorce document is her ksuba document. So why did you say it's like she has a ksuba document? She actually has a ksuba document. Her get is her ksuba document. So that can aval b'makom shekosin ksuba ina kitna ksuba gavi lo. So maybe what you're trying to say is that in a place where they do write a ksuba, so if she has her ksuba, she collects, and if she doesn't have her ksuba document, she doesn't. So here's where I wanted to go into the Steinsaltz explanation of it. If you both have it, maybe we can read it. Maybe somebody wants to read it because I've talked enough already.
Okay, you have it, Roy?
I think so, yes. Yeah.
Okay, you want to read or should I?
You can read.
Okay, so let's see. He has said nothing. So this is referring to the very beginning where it says that she makes the claim and he says, I didn't pay. He says, I paid, but I have no witnesses. And so the Gemora says, he has said nothing. When he said when he says I paid, it's like he said nothing. His claim is not accepted. What is the reason that he is not believed? Is because one who is owed any money based on a court enactment is considered like one who is holding a promissory note in his hand, against which a claim of repayment is not accepted without supporting evidence. Okay, that's Pashut. Rav Chia bar Abba said in the name of Rav Yochanan, but what are you adding? Isn't this principle stated in the Mishnah, which teaches if a woman produced a bill of divorce and there was no accompanying marriage contract, she collects payment of her marriage contract? Isn't this, if a woman produced a bill of divorce and there was no accompanying marriage contract, she collects payment of her marriage contract? It's a question.
Isn't this what the Mishnah says?
Oh, is this what the Mishnah says? That she can, I see, that she can collects her contract. This is an example of Rabbi Yochanan's principle that a court enactment enables one to collect a debt even without a relevant document.
And we have to wonder how she can get a get if she hasn't got a ksuba. Did she have a ksuba when she got the get?
Well, there's two cases. The one is where she did and one is where she didn't. So all we have now is that she has a get. And the question is, and the statement of the Mishnah in Kesubos is that she collects, she gets her money. And the question is, isn't this what the same exact thing that Rav Yochanan said? And therefore Rav Yochanan has not said anything really. Okay, so Rav Yochanan is going to answer. Rav Yochanan said to him, true, this Mishnah is a source of my principle, but had I not lifted up the shard for you, you would not have found the pearl beneath it. In other words, Rabbi Yochanan had not, if Rabbi Yochanan had not pointed out the principle, Rav Chia bar Abba would not have realized that it was underlying the rule of the Mishnah. Okay, so what principle are we talking about here?
The principle is that if you, a Maisa Bezdin is considered as if you have a star in your hand.
Okay, so that's the thing that Rav Yochanan said.
And the Mishnah is illustrating that principle. But we wouldn't have realized it if Rabbi Yochanan hadn't pointed it out.
Rav Yochanan said, if one makes a claim and there is an act of the court to base it on, he has said nothing. Why? Because
if somebody makes a claim against a court enactment.
Right. It's like the claim. It's like the defendant has a document in his hand. So that's Rabbi
Right.
Yochanan's addition, and because he said that, what we realize is that the reason why it says that we don't believe him is because it's like the defendant has a document. And if you make a claim of I paid against somebody who has a document, it doesn't work. That's the principle. Right?
That's the principle, and that principle is underlying the Mishnah about the woman who has a get and no ksuba.
Right. Okay, so now Abaye says, what qualifies this proof as a pearl? It is not a compelling proof, as perhaps the Mishnah we are dealing with. In the Mishnah, we are dealing with a place where they do not write a marriage contract. As in such a place, a woman's bill of divorce is the same as her marriage contract. But in a place where they do write a marriage contract, if she is holding a marriage contract, then she collects payment. If not, she does not collect payment. There is no proof from the Mishnah in support of Rabbi Yochanan's principle. There's no proof in the Mishnah in support of Rabbi Yochanan's principle. Because, like Roy said, we don't know whether she had a ketubah or not.
Does it work the other way around? If she has a marriage contract but no ketubah, but no get, she has to have the get, at least.
So now
Right?
let's first understand that there's a principle that ksuba is a Maisa based in. So that means whether she has it or not, in principle, she should get paid. That's what Rabbi Yochanan is claiming. He's claiming that whether she actually has that piece of paper is not really so important. That's what Rabbi Yochanan wants to claim. He says it's not so important because Beis Din enacted that a woman gets paid. So if she doesn't have the paper, it's she's going to get paid anyways. So now let's talk about whether she actually has the physical paper or not. So here's where Abaye is coming in, and he's saying that who says the Mishnah is proving Rabbi Yochanan's point. Perhaps in the Mishnah, we're talking about where they don't write a marriage document, and then the get is the ksuba. It's the woman's bill of divorce is the same as a marriage contract. The get is the ksuba. So don't tell me. So that's not a case of a person who doesn't have a document. It's a case of a person who does have a document, because the get is functioning also as the ksuba. Okay,
But
so
why is that a contradiction of Rabbi Yochanan?
Because Rabbi Yochanan wants to tell us that we learn from the Mishnah that if a person doesn't have a document, it's as if he does. And if they don't write a ksuba, then the get is considered like the ksuba, so she does have a ksuba. It's just not the case.
Oh, wait, if she doesn't have a kasuba, she's not divorced.
If she doesn't have a get, she's not divorced.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say.
So now she has a get.
She has,
So
we're assuming she has a get.
Divorced. So she is divorced. So the point that Abaye wants to make is that if this is a place where they don't write a ksuba contract, then the get is a dual function document. It's both a bill of divorce and a ksuba.
Right, but that's pshita.
So now, but it really contradicts Rabbi Yochanan, because Rabbi Yochanan is saying the reason the Mishnah is that the enactment of Beis Din gives her the power as if she has a document, even though she doesn't. Comes Abaye and says, "What do you mean she doesn't have a document? She has a document. The get is the ksuba. She has a ksuba."
Only if you're in a place where they don't write the kasuba.
Right. So not right. So then he goes on to the second case. So now let's go on. So let's continue and go on to the second case. And we'll see that Rabbi Yochanan doesn't work there either, according to Abaye. But in a place.
But in a place where they do write a marriage contract, if she is holding a marriage contract, then she collects payment. And if not, she does not collect payment.
Mm-hmm.
So Rabbi Yochanan is saying that even if they do write a kasuba in this place, she still collects even without it.
Rabbi Yochanan says that she collects even without it. Right. Right.
So she has to have only a get. Even if it's a place where they write a kasuba, she comes in with a get and says, "I want my money." The court says you have to pay her. He says, "I already did." Court says, "Prove it." He says, "I don't have any witnesses." Court says, "You have to pay." And that contradicts and that's what Rabbi Yochanan says.
That's what Rabbi Yochanan says, and Abaye says that it's not true because if they do write a ksuba, if she's holding the marriage contract, she collects payment. If not, she does not collect.
So how do we know
Rabbi
Abaye
Yochanan's
is right?
principle is not correct.
How do we know Abaye is right? What's his source?
What is his source? Why is Abaye so sure that this is true? In the end, he's going to say that he's not correct. In the end, next line, we're going to see that he changed his mind.
Okay.
And so you're asking why? What's that? What was his havamina? Why did he think that? And before he changed his mind.
Yes.
Now good question. Another good question, Lou.
My job.
Yeah. I have to be honest with you, I don't really know. I don't really know why he's so sure of that at this point. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. I think that he's assuming, you see, there's an assumption that if you have a promissory note, okay, and then let's say I lent you $100, okay? So now you pay me the $100. So now you're supposed to say to me, hey, Shmuel, give me back the star, because otherwise you're going to collect another time. And I'm obligated to give you the star. Let's say I can't find it. Lou, come back tomorrow. I'll find it. So you say, okay, but write me a receipt. Give me a receipt in the meantime that I paid the $100. So now that's the way it works. Also with a kasuba under normal circumstances. If the woman has a document and then he pays his $20,000, so he says to her, look, I paid you, give me the ksuba, otherwise you're going to collect again. She says, I don't know where it is, it's in my other purse. He says, so write me a receipt. So now she has to write him a receipt. She has to write him a receipt. So now this guy's, so why does he have to write a receipt? Because otherwise he'll always say, I paid. In order to prevent him from doing that, she writes him a receipt. And if he says, I paid, so we say, where's the receipt? Where's the ksuba? Where's the eidim? Where's nothing? You got nothing. We can't believe you. So that's where Abaye is coming from. Abaye is saying that under normal circumstances, when you pay your debt, when you pay up a debt that is written in a star, you either get the star back or you get a receipt, or at least there's aiding there or something. And this guy has nothing.
So she has nothing and he has nothing.
So what happens? So if she doesn't have a star, so if she doesn't have the ksuba, so then the Beis Din assumes it's because he paid her and she gave him the ksuba because he said, I'm paying you, give me the ksuba back. And that's why she doesn't have it.
In which case, we should believe him.
Correct. And that contradicts Rabbi Yochanan.
And that's Abaye's point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now Abaye says, what I said is not correct. Now that we understand why he is correct, he says, I'm not correct.
Right.
As if it enters your mind that we are dealing with a place where they do not write a marriage contract, but in a place where they do write a marriage contract, if she is holding a marriage contract, she collects. And if she is not, if not, she does not collect payment. Then through what means does a widow from a betrothal collect payment of her marriage contract? She has neither a marriage contract nor a bill of divorce. Okay, so this is where my other question came up. The question that you said was a problem for you, and that question is this case of the widow is a case where she was betrothed to a man, and the man died before they got married.
Right.
And therefore, there's no kasuva because you don't write the kasuva until the actual marriage. And there's no get because they were never divorced.
Right.
So the only thing she has is witnesses that say that the fiance died.
Yep.
And that is like the court order. Because we have a principle that the woman has to get paid. So if she can prove that her fiance died, then she has a claim to make, and the court will support the claim.
Right.
So the problem is that since she has no document, according
Yeah.
to what Abaye said above,
Right,
she doesn't get paid
right.
because presumably because this is a place where they customarily do write a star, a kasuba. But
No, nobody writes a ksuba for an arusa. That's in
well,
every place.
that's my question. Since nobody writes a kasuba for an arusa, that means this is like a place where they don't write a kasuba, and therefore
Right.
she should get paid. So what's the problem?
Therefore, she should get paid, and that's why Abaye says I was wrong. Abaye is said what I said is not correct. He admits that he made a mistake, and because of what you just said. But we have to get the proof. The proof
Oh,
is coming up. It's where it says if it is suggested, and then if we get all the way down to the bottom. So in Hebrew, let's read it first in Lashon HaKodesh. Ve'edei Abal liton velema paratiha. How does she make her claim? She brings aiding that her husband died, right?
right.
So go ahead, you read the Gemara. You read the Gemara.
Okay. If it is suggested that she can collect payment by means of, excuse me, witnesses to the death of her husband, let her husband's heir, from whom she is demanding payment, claim and say, I paid. She has no proof that she did not receive the money. She has no proof that she did not receive the money. Okay. And if you would say that indeed the heir can claim that he has paid what he owes, if so, what did the sages accomplish with their ordinance that a widow from betrothal receive payment of her marriage contract? The heirs can always exempt themselves. So
Yeah.
I have problems with this statement that says she has no proof that she did not receive the money. How can you have proof you did not receive the money? You can have witnesses that say, I saw that they paid. But you can't have witnesses that say, I was with her 24/7 and I saw that she never got paid. That's impossible.
Then she wouldn't have aiding, but she could have another proof. Normally, the proof that you didn't get paid is that you're still holding the star. That's the normal proof.
Right.
Everyday proof that you owe me money is the fact that I'm holding the IOU. If you paid me, then we should have torn it up, or I should have given it back to you, or I should have given you a receipt, or there should have been an ATM or something. So if I'm holding the star, that's proof that you didn't pay me. So here, that's lacking. She should have a star in her hand saying he has to pay her, but that's lacking because they don't write a ksuba in such a place. So she's one down.
Okay, and that's why Rav Yochanan says she gets it anyway.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly the point. She gets it anyways because it's a Maisa Basin.
And this is the case that we wouldn't have realized that she gets it anyway if Rav Yochanan had not said what he said.
I think that's right.
I
So
want
Abaye goes and he explains to us why he changed his mind. The reason why he changed his mind is im ken mahu ilu chachamim b'takanasan. That's his skora. That's his for im ken mahu ilu chachamim b'takanasan. The chachamim came along, made a special ordinance that an almana minei resin gets paid, and she's going to lose out because the Yorshim will always be able to say it was paid. Where is her star? So in order to for the Takana the Chamim to have any teeth, we have to say what Rabbi Yochanan said.
But
It's based in Lo Amar Klum.
if what Rabbi Yochanan said is correct, then we don't need the takana.
Without the Takana, it won't be a Maisa based in.
Well, we have the testimony that he died. That's the Maisa based in.
But who says that an Almana Mina Erusin gets money? The Takanas Chachamim says she gets money. The Takanas Chachamim said that creates the legal the financial obligation to pay her.
And who says that a wife who says that a divorcee gets money?
You mean if they had a full marriage?
Yeah.
If they had
We started out by saying that it's a presumption that a divorcee gets money.
Yeah.
So now you're saying, I want to say it's an assumption that an almana be'erusin gets money. You're saying no, we need a tikana. So I'm countering and saying, well, why don't we need a tikana for the divorcee?
Good question. I just want to make sure that we're not losing anybody here. Rabbi Karp, you still with us? You're okay. You're following this discussion? Good. If you have any questions or comments or kashas, so just please speak up.
No, I appreciate what Lou is saying, and you.
Okay. Okay, so
I just want to give you a warning. We have 3 minutes left. My cheapo version of Zoom runs out of time.
right. I have the same version, actually. I have two Zoom accounts. I have my own free one, and then do you know Rabbi Daniel Belsky?
No.
Ever heard of Rabbi Daniel Belsky from Sorotskin? So anyway, so he has a paid Zoom account because he gives lots of shiurim which go well over 45 minutes. So I sometimes run his Zoom shiurim, so so that one is paid. But let's get back to the point. Your kasha is that also an almana mina nisuin is a takanas chachamim. So I'm saying to you like this: if they don't write a ksuba, if it's a place where they don't write a ksuba, then the get is a ksuba. And if it's a place where they do write a ksuba, so she's got a ksuba. So now there's an actual physical ksuba in the picture. The place where we really need the takanas chachamim is the almana mina erusin, because there's no ksuba physical paper in the picture. There's only the takanas chachamim. There's no paper ksuba.
But there's no paper kasuba for a divorcee in a place where they don't write a kasuba.
In such a place, the get is the ksuba. It's a dual function document. Get hainu ksuba. I think so. That's the lesson of the Gemora. Let's get the lesson again. Dilma b'makom shein kosvin ksuba askinan. The get hainu ksubasa. The get is her ksuba.
Okay, so I want to say the death certificate is the kasuba.
So here we have a deabal, but we don't actually have a death certificate from the state of Minnesota. And even if we did, Chachamim never said that the death certificate functions as a ksuba. They could say that, but they didn't.
So they did say that the get is a kasuba.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's what the Gemara is telling us, that the get is a dual function.
Okay. I got you. All right. I think that's gonna do it for today, because we're less than a minute. It's gonna cut us off any second now.
Okay, good. So we'll go on tomorrow based